I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What up, everybody? You know what it is, that Challenge 2.0 podcast on AfterBuzz TV. You know how we get down. It's your boy, Lim Gonzalez, a.k.a. Uncle Lim. And, of course, I got my crew with me. You know how we do. She's been with me, ride or die, and she don't play. Sensei in the building. What up, Sensei?
What up, guys? This episode was amazing. I was here for it. And it's Fan Appreciation Night, so I'm really excited.
Absolutely. It is Fan Appreciation Night. And, of course, we have our messy correspondent, Messy Melody, in the building. What up?
Hi, guys. Yeah, this was a really good episode. I'm ready to talk about it.
Yeah. And, of course, my A1 since day one, the Filipino king himself, Nino Lanera, in the building.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy, and I'm ready to talk about it. We got to talk about Swaggy and Josh for sure, right?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay.
So yeah, let's start right there because I feel like that was so avoidable.
Dramatic, y'all.
Super dramatic. Now, granted, and we had, shout out to Josh, we had him on the show. He definitely, we know that he's very sensitive. He plays close to his heart, right? And he gets that rap. And it's very true. I mean, that's kind of how he is. And so if he feel like somebody's coming at him a certain way, he doesn't just let it go. He wants to speak on it. He wants to address it. And of course, Swaggy was the person that he addressed. But I will say this, Swaggy did kind of interrupt him. Johnny Bananas told us that they were talking and then Swaggy kind of interjected himself. So of course, Josh, and he's been drinking. So like Swaggy said, every time you've been drinking, you get crazy. So then it's turned up. And then he starts going in, and then Swaggy's like, yeah, but and he walks away. And of course, Josh throws the drink, and then he gets all crazy.
I can't even pick a side with this situation.
You know what? I will say Josh is the truth. Okay, maybe he shouldn't have thrown the drink, but Josh is the truth. You guys are working with Wes. Wes does not like Josh. So Josh already knows that they're going to pick Wes over him. So that's where the truth is coming out. It's like, okay, yeah, no. Like, even though there's been this whole thing about do Wes and him really not get along? What's the real situation? At the end of the day, Josh is never going to trust Wes. So if Swaggy and Bailey are working with Wes, he's not going to trust them either. So at the end of the day, they are playing two sides. So Josh, go ahead, be the truth, honey. Say what you got to say, and that's just what it is.
See, I can't choose a side either way, left or right. It just looked a little too ridiculous for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Swaggy impeding in the conversation and then Josh getting all crazy. Like, I get it. They're both high anxiety. It's a crazy game or whatnot. But it's just like Lem said, it could have been super avoidable, the whole situation. Plus, if you want to play like Wes, be possum like Wes. You know what I'm saying? Josh is the most vocal about their rivalry. You know what I'm saying? You never see Wes too vocal about the rivalry, but he's never vocal at all because that's how he plays his game. It's all in here. You don't want to show too much emotion. Of course, you want to let it out once in a while, but if you show too much emotion, look what happens.
Right.
Look what happened to Jenna today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got, Messi?
It could have been avoided, but I'm glad that it wasn't.
For the drama.
Of course.
I am a little disappointed. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. In Bailey, I thought she was gonna pop off, and they wouldn't leave.
Yeah, no. And someone even said that, right? They were like, "Oh, Bailey's about to go."
Yeah,
yeah.
She didn't.
I mean, she went off. She didn't pop off, but she went off. I mean,
I like that.
She didn't pop off. I mean, I was kind of glad because I mean, the one thing is, and I think Bailey is realizing how to play the game. We saw when her and Swaggy and Wes were talking. And, they're like, oh, I'm learning from Wes how to do this. And he was like, congratulating, like, look, you're the only rookies that got this far without getting your name thrown in, which is true. And so I think she understands, like, look, I got to be chill, and not get too crazy because then it puts a target on me. And now that it's dwindling down, right? Yeah. It's just the more so that it's going to be up to you. So I think it was dope that she did it. But yeah, that whole situation was crazy. What did y'all think about the whole situation with Dee trying to get Jenny out of there?
Can't trust nobody, y'all.
Nobody.
What's that saying? Can't trust no bitch. Is that what it's called? Can't trust no bitch.
I don't know.
I thought it was shady. I thought it was shady.
It was backstabbing.
It was, but at the same time, don't you want to get the strongest competitors out?
Well, she should have thought about that instead of having her go in the first time. She should have just put Tori in if that was the end of the day. She was loyal to her from the beginning. Girl, you sent her in there to get an easy Red Skull. So it's like, and we've seen you switch up on so many different players. It's like now you're gonna switch up on Jenny. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, D, I love your free spirit. But like in that game, like, where's your loyalty? You have no loyalty. So now no one's gonna ever trust her. No one.
I think when you look at it too, like that $1 million waved over people's heads makes everything different for people.
Yeah.
And some people react, you know, in another way where like, how can I let my friends eat as well too? Or they think about themselves because survival of the fittest, right? So it's like a toss-up. It's like she's really playing the game, like for real playing the game. But she's also, and she said it too, she likes, I like playing the villain. You know what I mean? She's playing the villain in this whole situation. So it's like, can you be mad at her? You can be disappointed in her.
Yeah.
Can you be mad at her because she's playing the game?
Look,
I'm not mad at it. And she didn't go home. So we can't stay mad, can we?
I mean
the thing is,
not
people,
mad.
No, it's not mad. But the thing is, I think that in this house, and you'll see this as it progresses and as these seasons go, you have like people that you kind of link with in the challenge,
right?
But you have friends outside of this. And I feel like, you know, Jenny was one of her friends outside of this. And that was like her A1, like the fact that she allowed Jenny to go in and get that skull against Jen. And so it worked out in that way. So now to turn on her so easily, and the fact that Jenny was like, when they were out, you know, at the bar or whatever, she was like, she's not even looking at me, because it was almost like she knew she was doing her dirty. It's different than it's like, look, I'm gonna put you in, you're a threat, but she's not doing it. And she's trying to have other people do her dirty work. She can set herself.
I think that's where it's like, I'm like, I don't really like that because the way she did it, you know what I'm saying? She didn't want her name coming out of her own mouth because she didn't want to be caught, you know, red-handed with the situation.
Well, in that situation, then she should have just kept it to herself and not go and tell Rogan. When Rogan was the one to even tell Jenny, I was like, girl, you should have just sat back and let Nani and a homegirl do the thing for you.
She's trying to be West, but she's, you know, she's not there yet.
She's turning into West though, low key.
She is. No, she's Westella. She's turning to Westella. She is. I think I want to bring one of our super fans in.
Let's
continue this discussion. So our first super fan coming in to the virtual chat. This is how we get down. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than Carlita in the building. What up, Carlita?
Hey, Carlita.
What's up?
What's up, girl? So we are in it. And right now we're talking about D and kind of how she did Jenny dirty. And then we Sensei touched on Rogan. Right. And I want to get your take on the whole that situation, and also Rogan then kind of spilling the beans and
also trash.
Right. Okay, let's go.
So I feel like D, I just feel like it was shady because like her and Jenny were friends, and to just like flip the switch and be like, oh, I want to get her out. I don't want her in the final. If you didn't want her in the final, then why did you put her in elimination with Jen? You shouldn't have done
my whole thing.
You could have went in yourself and got yourself a red skull, and then she wouldn't have one. But like you sent her in, and now you say you don't want to go against her in the final. Like that doesn't make any sense. And then Boo Boo the Food, like she goes and tell Rogan, dumb.
Said Boo Boo the Food.
I don't know what's gonna take for her to realize that Rogan is not riding for her.
Yeah,
at all.
He sprinted, went and go tell.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But I hope she watches this back and now she's like,
that he is not for her at all. Right. And the thing is, like, how are you about to make the number one girl your enemy? Like, you kept her as your number one girl because you knew how tough she was. So why would you think that that's a good idea to make the strongest girl competitor your enemy?
And I also feel like with turning on Jenny, it not only makes an enemy out of Jenny. To me, if I was in that house, I'm not Jenny, but if I saw you moving like that, I'm going to have a problem with you too, because now I know that you're shady. So I feel like you could possibly make other enemies other than Jenny. So I just feel like it's just doesn't make it around.
You saw Jenny's demeanor as well too. Right after she was like,
I was mad that she didn't say anything.
I don't think she said anything yet.
In the tribunal, she was just babbling. I don't know what she was talking about, but
she was kind of going a little right. We was like, what was this point you're trying to make here?
I don't know what she was saying, but I was really wanting her to get in at D because I feel like when she sat down, she was kind of like,
I think she was playing possum.
Didn't say anything.
Yeah,
So.
I think well, D was definitely didn't want it to be like she was the one that put her in there. She was trying to play high post a little bit because we were saying this earlier. She was trying to have the other girls do her dirty work, and so she didn't want to have her hands dirty. But even though it still got out, Jenny found out. Even though ultimately at the end she did not throw her in, which was smart because Jenny I think would have went in there, won, and then came back and then been her arch enemy. And so I think it was smart to do that. But I think that she's trusting people that she shouldn't, and especially the fact that she's putting in a Rogan and Rogan trying to get her out.
Right.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's a repeat of what happened last time.
Do you guys
Rogan
think
is shady altogether? So
do you guys think she's gonna be able to like smooth this out? Because right now Jenny still doesn't know for sure. And the fact that, D didn't say her name, like, do you think in this future episode there's gonna be some riff and like Jenny's gonna find out the truth?
Yeah, I think Jenny knows. Deep down inside, Jenny knows that it's the truth. Because why wouldn't Dee stand up for her while she was in the tribunal, saying, we don't need to put her in. Why is she going to be in the top 4? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she has a taste in her mouth saying, I'm good.
Yeah, and as long as Rogan's in that house, he's about to make.
He's going to bring it up again.
Oh yeah, about to stir that pot.
Of course.
So messed up.
Carlito, who else you think is really acting foul right now in the house?
Josh is getting on my nerves.
We talked about him
because I feel like he is making mountains out of molehills. Like he is just, he's just so emotional, and I just know that about him. Like I get it, but I just want him to just be like, it's not that deep. If you don't want to roll with them, then just don't. Like I just feel like he makes a big deal out of everything, and he just so badly. Like, I don't know if he's trying to get on Rivals 4 or like what. He just wants to have a problem with somebody. And I'm just like, it's not there. Like, but I mean, I think he's like the only person that's like, well, Nelson's bugging me, but he didn't bug me this episode. He didn't do anything.
Not this episode.
Yeah. He's definitely getting nervous.
He didn't drown.
I think he's learning his lesson. And then plus he's got that skull. So, I think he's trying to just keep that and hold on to that.
Right.
And
Carlita, what do you think about the whole Jenna situation and with Zach and how she was feeling? Did you really feel like she was like in the game, or did you really feel like she was just ready to go home?
First of all, when she sat down in front of the iPad or screen, whatever, I was like, why do we keep calling this man? Like, he's not on the show. Stop giving him so much airtime. It's annoying. But I feel like she is partially checked out, but she's not going to quit. Like, I feel like it's more about her pride, but I do feel like she wants to go home. Like, she wants to be with him. Jenna's one point in life is like to be with Zach. Like, clearly they're engaged now. So I feel like she's not going to just quit, but I do feel like her head is kind of like not all the way there.
Right.
I feel like she's definitely
thought she went home. So
I think she's definitely torn. I mean, we saw in the Elimination Challenge, she got thrown in, which I thought that was whack. Personally, I think that because she's kind of, the thing with her is she's just, you think you have a friend and you want to just vent to them. Like, listen to what I'm going through.
And I get that.
You know what I'm saying? But then it's turning around on her, because what it does is it gives someone an easy target. It's like, oh, they want to go home.
Right.
Let me send them home instead of stirring up the pot. And Jenna's not one that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to get you back type thing. She just goes in and does her work. So, I was kind of hoping that she was going to win just to prove them wrong again.
Yeah.
A second time, like Jay did, we saw earlier in the season, but it didn't vote for her well. But I think at this point now she can go to Zach and, work that out.
But then if you flip that point, if you thinking about somebody like Nani, who is her actual friend, she's like, girl, you've been crying about this man for how long? I'm over it. So while I understand, like, I just want to vent, it's like, well, that's all you're doing. And like, we don't want to hear it anymore. Like, we're over it. As a viewer, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm over it. So I'm just like,
you have one of those friends who you just have to tell the truth sometimes too. Like, where you're like, they just over and over, it's the same damn problem over and over again. And you have to just shake him and be like, this is the issue and you need to deal with it this way because it's not working out right now at the moment.
Right, exactly.
It's almost like giving them ultimatum because it feels like they're just running around in circles. And after you're done hearing that, you don't want to be the therapist anymore.
Exactly.
You want them, you give them your opinion, right? You give them some sort of like help, but if they don't want to take it, what you gonna do?
Right. And also it's like the wrong place and the wrong time. It's like, girl, we're in a game right now. I can't hear.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
I probably got my own issues at home, but I left that at the door. Okay. Like
Absolutely.
I can't, think for you right now because I have to think about what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, so I think that has a big thing that's weighing on them when Jenna's talking to them as well. So.
Right.
With $1 million to think about. That's the big
okay.
$1 million.
Right.
Son.
And I think that was their whole point. Like in the interrogation, it's like, look, you're going for the money or you're going to go home. Like if you keep on talking to us about it, you're going to keep complaining. Well, clearly your mind's not just on the money.
Right.
True.
And she's going to keep complaining.
Of course.
Right. She said,
if I win, I'm going to complain. Girl, what?
Bye. She's not going to stop. She's not going to stop.
At least she was being honest.
Yeah, for real.
I can respect that.
Exactly. Well, Carlita, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Melody, happy birthday, girl.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Mel.
Happy birthday.
Thanks
you very much.
Nice, thanks.
Yes, of course.
Girl.
Let me get out.
So let's talk about this challenge real quick. The tunnel rats. It was
I had to move that fast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was whatever. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy challenge like we've seen. I guess the water was really cold, obviously. I was just really disappointed in Swaggy. Bruh, you couldn't even get out the way so Anissa can drop down. Like he literally got DQ'd because he wouldn't move. And I'm like, what are you doing?
The medic had to come and get him. And the thing is, he had a life vest on. He had a okay. Quick story. I went to Cancun and we swam in this Mayan river, 3,000-year-old Mayan river. I'm not the best swimmer, but the life vest just takes you and you just float. You know what I'm saying? You kick your feet and you're gonna move.
Absolutely.
But I mean, he just panicked, y'all. He just panicked.
I mean, the thing is though, is like if he's never swam before, I mean, I can only imagine for someone who's never swam before. Like, but at the end of the day, you have to think about it like, okay, you have a life vest on though. Like you're gonna be okay. And I wonder if like no one gave him a pep talk beforehand. I was very shocked. I mean, even Leroy in the past, he didn't know how to swim, but he at least like was able to like
you gotta move,
do the right moves. Like
nobody expect you to be, a super powerful swimmer. Yeah, like that's not what's asking. Like everybody has, I mean, a lot of people don't swim well on the challenge. Yeah. It's like their demise. Yeah, but you just gotta move out the way. Like just move out the way. Like you get DQ'd and then the medic has to come get you because you don't move.
And Josh had to go twice for you, already irritating him even more.
Which I think is fuel for the situation that happened later.
Yes.
Like that's probably why he threw a drink on him because he was like, look, you weren't wet enough. So
you weren't wet enough. Stop.
Get some more water.
I'm just saying. I mean,
even Nelson took swimming lessons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, he was struggling too. Let's keep it real. But he wasn't as bad as Swaggy.
He at least tried.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Josh got in his feelings. And I think they keep showing that because he does that. Like he takes, who was it? Was it our guest that says mountain, molehill into a mountain?
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's a great scenario because I think that's something that he does a lot. He gets in his feelings and he just takes things so personal. And it's like, not everything needs to be so personal. Just do what you got to do. These people, not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to appreciate you. Not everybody's going to respect you. You just got to live with that and move on and do what you're supposed to do to get that money.
Yeah.
It's that competitor in him.
Exactly. Well, I think it's time for our next guest.
Let's do
ladies and gentlemen, next super fan to come to the virtual stage. Give it up for Adriana, everybody.
Hey, Adriana.
What up, girl? So we were just talking about the challenge that happened, the tunnel rats, and basically how bad Swaggy was that he got to get carried out because he couldn't swim. And also Josh was in his feelings. What did you think about that particular challenge?
That challenge was interesting. I liked originally the dynamics of it. I liked the team separation of it because there were some teams with 4 players and some with 5. So was that really an advantage or a disadvantage? But I thought the team that won in the end, the Bailey, the West, the D, the Corey, and the Nani, for me, that was a more surprising win.
Really?
I wasn't expecting them to pull it out. Like I was, I wasn't worried about Nani. I was worried about Corey. keeping up with, let's say, Wes, the good swimmer.
I see.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And
Yeah,
I thought it would kind of do well just because knowing Wes is such a good player in like puzzles and swimming. But yeah, there's definitely some, rookies on there that rookies saying like Nani, who hasn't showed the most in the competition. And
she's not a rookie, but
she's not a rookie, but I mean,
she just hasn't been superior, right?
Yeah, superior.
Gotcha. I feel like she is. I want to say that historically she's been a good swimmer. I don't think she's the best at puzzles. And really, when it comes down to puzzles, you just need one person that's good. And everybody else can kind of just like help give you a piece. And I think that's probably why they did so well, is because they worked better in that regard. Because Corey is not going to do no puzzle.
Right.
Nani's not going to worry about no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Wes can be like, look, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to do this. Whereas some of the other teams, I think they fought with each other about who was going to do that. And you got too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh,
it's going to be all bad.
I don't know how. I mean, they definitely need to plan that out ahead of time because everyone was wanting to do the puzzle, especially on Josh's team.
Absolutely.
And Adriana, I think I get you because somebody said it. I forgot who said it in the show, but you're only, as good as your weakest link or whatnot. So if you have somebody like Wes who's just super athletic and just ready to go, but you still have people dragging in the back, that could be a challenge and an issue as well too. Obviously, we had to see some people wait to get out of the water still before they could even move. So this is one of those things where you really have to work as a team, like y'all said, to make it happen, because ain't no way it's going to happen if you guys are jumbled at the puzzle and 5 million people are trying to answer the one question.
Yeah.
Did you find that Josh was justified in the puzzle trying to insert himself, considering it was a girls' double elimination? You think he should have just, considering it was a girls' elimination, wouldn't the better strategy have been for him to take a step back, let it fall on Anissa's shoulders, and then that way there's no blame and it's not his problem?
I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point. I think the thing with Josh is he always feels like he's the underdog, and he's always, he's taking everything so personal. And so the fact that they weren't letting him in, it was like, and I think it was Bailey that said, like, why are you tripping? Like when they didn't get it. Because it's like, it's a girls double elimination. You're not up for grabs. You're not up for elimination. Like, chill out. And so I think that's a good point you made.
I think the reason why he was fighting so much to get in there and to help was because he wanted to be part of the tribunal, obviously. He wanted to have some sort of power and some sort of kick in the situation. But the way he got mad at the end, it's like, you don't need to, because like they said, it's not your problem, it's not your issue. You lost, but it doesn't really matter as a woman.
Right.
But, I think he just wanted that power.
But I think also throughout the season and even past season, Josh is that kid that wants to sit at the cool people table, the Johnny Bananas, and he always wants to prove himself to them and show up to them. And you see that kind of fall in that behavioral pattern at the bar scene later on as well. Like that's just the thing where he just always wants to be as cool or as reputable as the Johnny Bananas and the Wesses. And he's always trying to prove himself to get that camera time.
Listen, the fans today are just so on point. Last time we did this, they are so on point as well too. I love having y'all on because you guys just have the best opinions.
For sure. What did you think about Adriana, how the tribunal went, in the sense that, because granted, the way it worked, because it was a double elimination and the amount of women that are left, it's only going to be one that's not going to get involved somehow. So how do you feel like that went? Do you think that went well, or did you disagree with some of the things that happened?
I think the thing that shocked me the most was Nani's behavior during the tribunal. Like, this is your friend Jenna, and I found she was harsh.
Jenna, you're talking about Jenna, yes. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
With Jenna, she was the harshest and the most, like, she was giving dirty side eye to her, like, you've checked, I thought, you guys were like supposed to be the Holy Trinity. And you're supposed to protect her, and she was just throwing her under the bus with like, how do you feel today?
I feel you on that 100%. That stood out to me as well, just the fact that how she was so over it. I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier, that we get why sometimes the distraction of Jenna's energy is probably ruining their energy, but at the same time, if you're the Holy Trinity, y'all need to have each other's backs. And the fact that Nani was like washing her hands of it a little bit, it rubbed me the wrong way too.
Hey, Melody, do you think it was a situation with Nani feeling like just sick of what Jenna was saying, that she wanted to get her out, and like wanted, because she was talking about the money a lot. She was like, it's $1 million. I got to play my game.
And they're friends outside of the show, right?
Yes.
So I don't think it was a whole, I'm just tired of her talking. No, I think she saw an opportunity to get someone out and took it.
That has a red skull.
The big message.
Shitty friend.
Sorry, the big message with Nani consistently is, I've done everything to help these girls. I'm always doing everything. But what have you done? But no, honestly though, like what has she done to protect any of them? Because both times they both got called in and they both went down and they both went home. Like, I don't see that protection that she's talking so highly of. And then it brings me back to the whole Leroy thing. Last season, she was tripping on Leroy, saying, you know, like, you have to have my back, forget about your game. And that she's changing her tune.
Yes, that's a great point. She was on Leroy's head last season talking about, you need to help me out. You need to be a true friend and da-da-da-da. And Leroy was trying. He tried his best. He was like, but also I got to play my game. And now she's doing the same thing.
That is a really good point.
Interesting.
Adriana came with notes and a pen and she
How did you
talk.
Yes.
Like,
So how did you feel about D then?
D, I think, is late to the party with the Jenny. If she was going to pull a move like that, she should have never let her go down in the first place.
That's what they said earlier. Yep.
Buyer's remorse. Sorry, but you know, like now, out of everybody, Rogan that you're trusting, like if Wes is your guy and the guy you've learned from and your challenge guru, why not talk to Wes about these moves? Why are you going to Rogan? Because Rogan's going to throw you under the bus.
Right.
Yeah, he's
absolutely
that.
Yeah, he's proven himself to do that always.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be trusting him at all.
Adriana, I asked this earlier to the crew. It's like, I feel like you could be disappointed, but can you be mad because these people are just playing the game and they're really just looking out for themselves? Like, do you look at it at that point, or do you think they should be loyal to the people they need to be loyal to? Or do you think the strategy is just a strategy because there's $1 million on the line?
I think to a certain extent, because you're going back season after season after season, your word does hold weight. I'm not saying to be a Nelson and make deals with everybody, but there should be a core alliance when you've made it. That's who's going to carry you, and those are the people that are going to remember you. If you make one mistake, you're not going to be trustworthy for the next 3, 4, 5 challenges until that mistake is going to be forgotten.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coming with the heat, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Adriana holding it down. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. That was so good.
I loved all your opinions.
Thank you so much.
That was great. That was great. Thank you so much. Make sure you click out. All right. I want to talk about this elimination. Obviously, it was a double elimination for the women, just like it was for the men last season or last episode. Excuse me. And we had 2 people that were very confident about voting themselves in. One being Anissa and one being Melody's best friend, Kayla. I mean, I wasn't mad at that because look, you got to go in at some point in time. You're losing time,
they're ready.
And they were ready to go in. And I like the fact that they stepped up and went in. It didn't bode well for some people. I thought that during, we were talking a little bit about it, but the whole situation when they were deliberating and you had the people that were in the tribunal and then talking to all of those, I really hate the fact that they voted for Jenna. I really thought that was whack. I felt like Nani, and this is the thing about Nani, like I love Nani, but I feel like she plays such a scared game. She plays a very scared game, but she feels entitled. And that's the part that gets me. It's like Nani hasn't done enough. Yeah, she's been on a lot of challenges, of course, but she has not done enough to feel entitled. And the whole thing with last season, like we were talking about with Leroy, how she was like, you need to have my back because we're friends. Then this season, she felt like Jenna's trying to, basically talk to her as a friend because you don't know who you can trust. And then she takes it and spins it around on her. And I'm just like, I'm so tired of her. And you could have put yourself in there and got your skull. And I really feel like she's going to run out of time, honestly. I don't think she's going to get back in the tribunal. So she's going to have a choice to make.
Y'all, I feel like it's so close because even TJ said at the end of this, we're more than halfway through. Not halfway through, we're more than halfway through. And now they're doing these double eliminations. Plus,
back to back.
Big T is out because her toe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they're just cutting people left and right. So
man,
crazy.
Pour out libations for Big T.
I know. Shout out to you, Big T.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna get either like there's gonna be challenges where if you don't make it, you don't even like you're just out. You know?
No, that's what's gonna be. Yeah. It's gonna be like he's gonna basically be like, all right, y'all, this is the last purgatory. Whoever doesn't make it out of here is done. And then you're gonna have this free for all of people trying to get in and put themselves in.
What if it gets to a point where there's like an end point, and then they're just like, okay, the people with no red skulls,
you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you can't even go in purgatory anymore. It's a wrap.
Look how quick TJ was like, Big T, you gotta go, and that was it. You're gonna get no exit. You know what I'm saying?
No elimination.
No, nothing.
And then on top of that, we're gonna have a double elimination for the women. So it's like it's too, because he said it's too many. Like they have to do the final with a certain amount of people. So either way, they gotta whittle it down. And so these people, but I love the way this game is, because we've never seen it like this. People always avoid eliminations. Now they have to go in, but it's like, when do I go in? I'm scared. It's like, it's really hard to play the game. I want to bring our last guest in. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
No, go ahead. Bring the guest.
Oh, okay. Last guest in to bring in super fan of the challenge and of the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the virtual stage, Jessica in the building. What up,
Jessica? Oh, we gotta get your mic on. Let's get your mic on.
Hi, guys.
Hey, there you go. Yes, we can hear you.
Hey.
Yes. So Jessica, we were just talking about kind of the elimination, but also prior to that, we were really talking about Nani, and I wanted to ask you, what are your
I've heard.
what is your take on Nani and like how she's playing the game this season?
I want to like Nani. I really do. My thing with her is, sis, when do we evolve? Okay, no, y'all. Let's be honest.
Let's go.
Nani Gonzalez has been the same girl since she first started the show. Okay, I like that Nani is down to party. I love that Nani loves to have fun. We get it, but like, when does this girl show up and just dominate? That is what I want to see. War of the Worlds won Nani when she was with Turbo. I can't talk shit. I can't talk shit. She did her thing.
She did.
But this whole, and then she's like, she wants to throw in Jenna. Let me tell you something. All we're going to see for the next 3 weeks from Nani is her crying in confessionals about how she's alone and she doesn't have anybody and all her friends are gone. It's like, sis, but you had a part in that. What do you
got rid of her whole alliance.
Exactly, girl. By the way, happy birthday, Mel. But yeah, with Nani, I like her. I just wish she was better at playing this game. She relies really heavily on her numbers, but then when she doesn't have her numbers, she doesn't know what to do. And so I just wish she would just like dominate more.
Yes.
Oh,
that was
I'm so here for this.
Jessica is preaching tonight.
But you know who is dominating? Who? My girl, D. Okay.
We got to talk about
D. Okay. I told you guys I was going to come with an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, you sure did.
My girl. Okay, I don't care what nobody has to say. This girl is coming in here. She's playing like a dude, and she's got everybody mad. She is playing eyes on the money, like that's it, and she's got everybody mad. And like people are like, "Oh, she doesn't have a right to be that entitled." Wasn't she the only female champion
last season? Yes, she was.
Wasn't she in the top 2 winners of the girls in the first challenge? Hasn't she made the most tribunal appearances of a girl? Let's stop. No.
Okay, but wait, Jessica. But if she was gonna do Jenny like that, why did she throw Jenny in to get a red skull right away?
You know what? I do agree with you there. My whole thing this episode was like, girl, if you wanted to get rid of her, why didn't you just that's the part that I don't get, because with D, although I'm proud of her and I'm proud that she's sort of just like walking around like, I dare you to touch me. Part of me is like, girl, but you need friends in this game.
And that's my thing.
So I am worried for her, because I'm worried that if she burns all her bridges, she's not going to have anybody left to sort of ride with. And let's be real, I don't know how long Wes is going to be in this game, and that seems like the person she's riding the hardest for. But
Exactly. And my thing is like with Dee, it's like I was so happy that she won last season because everyone was giving her so much shit.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited for her to play this season. And I know how like loyal of a person she was because she was so loyal to everyone last season. But for some reason, you want to be loyal to Rogan, who's consistently thrown you under the bus.
Oh, I hate
like she's picking the wrong loyalties here. And now the fact that you've turned on so many people, it's just not looking good for her this season.
Yeah.
You know, who's gonna trust
Absolutely.
her? So she's
Absolutely.
gonna be having to do some damage control, I feel.
I do agree with that. I just love the fact that, like, you know what? She's coming into this game. Is she cocky? Yes. But guess what? All these boys are cocky and y'all love them, okay?
Right.
Jordan is the cockiest one. Banana's cocky. Wes cocky. And y'all love them. And so I am totally okay for this girl being like, yes.
Savage.
And I do not fault her whatsoever for that. Not at all. She's got the skills to back it up. She wins eliminations. Do your thing, girl.
I mean, you got a big point there because Bananas and Wes have always thrown each other under the bus. I mean, so many of the fellas have thrown, you know, guys under the bus left and right. So seeing that perspective, I totally get what you're saying. It's like, okay, now a female's coming up into the mix and just throwing people left and right. So I think it is something new that, like,
and winning and taking names, and y'all are shook. Yeah.
This is the thing. This is the thing about Dee, though. I feel like she's wanting to take the spot of Cara Marie because that's what Cara Marie would always do or has done in the last several challenges, kind of assert herself as the alpha woman. The thing with that, though, is Cara Marie typically had a better social game, especially last season because she had her boyfriend with her. That was her ride or die, which helped her carry her to the end. The thing is, Dee doesn't have that. She thinks she has Rogan, but we've seen in this particular episode, she does not have Rogan. So, and like you said about Wes, she definitely is, you know, she feels like Wes is her back pocket, but Wes will also turn on you. I think that if it is to his advantage, Dee is expendable. I'm gonna put it out there right now.
I don't think so.
I don't think he would backstab her.
I've seen it. Okay.
Just bet on it.
My words.
Other people 100%, but I don't think Dee. I think that their bond is like a legit bond.
I agree.
I don't know. I'm just saying, if it been, I think that because he doesn't really have a lot of other women that is really he's riding for aside from Bailey. I think that I think that, but listen to me. Okay. I'm just saying, if it behooves Wes thinks about Wes at the end of the day. Right. And if it came down to if he was going to go on top by throwing her under the bus, I'm telling you right now, he would do it. Just mark my word. Because we saw in the next episode that him and Johnny Bananas kind of go at it. And they've been having this alliance all season so far. So just saying.
Listen, I think I could answer why Dee didn't throw Jenny into, you know, didn't go in for Jenny in the beginning. I think the reason why she didn't do that was because she had a different type of plan. And I think as the weeks get, you know, deeper into the challenge, I think her plans start changing and her confidence starts changing. Mm-hmm. So she was just like, I think it's going to work better this way. So she's trying to strategize like Wes. He's not at that level yet where it's smooth.
Right.
It's still kind of a bumpy road from her. So if she's safe, we say maybe in the next 2 or next season or the season after that, it might be a lot more smoother for Dee because she's going to learn from these mistakes and really watch the game and really work with it. And we know that her and Wes are doing this project right now with a couple other people.
Yeah.
Where are they? Kansas City?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, you know, I feel like, you know, young Padawan's learning a little bit more as we speak.
No, you're right. She is doing like a West Championship type strategy game in like her 3rd season. So it's like she is probably making a little bit of mistake.
It's just, you know, it's a little, it's like this and like this. It's going to be like that for a little bit. She'll get there, I think, though.
I want to know your take on the Josh situation.
On the Josh.
The Josh.
Josh, I like Josh. I really do.
But
I was defending Josh all last season because everyone was clowning on him because he was crying, and I was like, "Listen, okay, let him cry. He has emotions. It's okay." I was totally okay with Josh. On this episode, though, I was like, listen, this is not Love and Hip Hop. You are too big and too broad to be climbing on tables for drinks. What the heck? No. Listen.
It's on the wrong show. Wrong show.
Like, what are you doing? And
right.
I just feel like he really thinks that he's like a threat and like a manipulator and a mastermind at this game. I'm like, Josh, I'm gonna need you to stop trying to make fetch happen, boo. It's not gonna happen. Like, I like Josh, I do, but sometimes I'm like, And today was one of those days where I was like,
I'm gonna stick with mine. I'm gonna stick with mine, that I feel like he's the truth, and everyone's just hating on it. Because I'm just saying, he's the truth. He calls it how he sees it. They play on Wes's end. He don't feature Wes, and whether Wes don't feature him, then that's just what it is.
Wes ain't worried about you. Wes is over here trying to do his own thing, winning tribunals, and you over here worried, oh, Wes is gonna throw me in, boy. Wes is not thinking about you.
He's definitely and we've said this before. We've even had Josh on the show. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
I love that about him.
That's who Josh is. He's who he is. He's unashamed about that. And that's just, but in a situation like this, it just doesn't bode well for you, because you just end up putting a target on your back and people then pick on you. And that's just what really is bottom line.
It's just not looking the way he wants it to look on TV. I think he was planning it in a different way, where he was like, the edit's gonna look like a Josh
in his mind. It was
rival. You know what I mean? It was gonna be like fire and the picture of them two together, and it was gonna be a whole thing. But it's really just like Josh crying and Wes not caring.
I think that season where he was partnered with Amanda got to him. He's like thinking that he's like that, like a bad bitch, and it's like, Josh, Amanda can do that because she believes it through and through. You're not that guy. You're the sweet guy who, like, you know, wants to be friends with everybody. That is not. You're not Amanda. Sit down.
But I think that's why he's so passionate. Because he rides for the people he rides for. And there's a lot of people he rides for that probably don't even ride for him. But the fact that he tries so hard. And so when he sees something that he is just not featuring, he's going to just call it out.
For sure.
He's a good guy, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just, you know, emotional about the situation.
But don't climb on no more tables. No.
The tables and the throwing drinks. Like,
don't do that. Cut that out. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Give it up for Jessica.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That was great. That was awesome.
Have a good night.
Awesome.
Bye, Jessica. Take care.
Have a good night. All right, Messy. Birthday girl. Time for some news and gossip.
So this week, let me pull up the screenshots, because it was a case of Twitter fingers this week.
We love that.
We're gonna go back to a couple of days ago. We know this whole Melissa Nelson thing was going on. And Nelson went ahead and tweeted. First Melissa tweeted, and she said, very random but fun fact. After this argument, Nelson told a few people in the bunker about a dream he had. He dreamt that him and I hooked up, and that I touched his. She meant to say I touched his willy, and it came off, and I literally ran away with it laughing. The words I said to him must have cut deep. Ooh. Very weird for him to go back and say that to someone.
Right.
But he went on and replied at Melissa, look, I'm going to respect the fact that you're pregnant and not stoop to your level. Hashtag live and learn, hashtag grow. Hopefully you can find something better to do with your time. Congrats on being pregnant. Next time you want a pillow talk, tag me. So it looks like they're just not going to mend that friendship anytime soon.
It's not happening.
It's a wrap.
Was it a friendship that we cared to see mended? I don't know.
For sure.
Maybe they just weren't meant to be friends. You know what I'm saying?
No, and it's pretty bitchy the way he goes back and forth with the woman like that all the time, apparently.
Yeah.
So, and then today we got a tweet from Jen. She said, I was so gutted to learn that the relationship was fake to her. We hung out every day in that bunker and got on so well. I actually miss her friendship. And Dee replied,
saying what?
She said,
Basically, you'll be all right, babes. You got loads of friends.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting that response.
Interesting.
So
She owns it then. She owns it.
Yes.
Okay.
What was
Well,
I mean, that's really interesting. Like, Jenny was actually being like, I miss her. And
yeah, and
like,
for you to turn around and be like,
yeah,
you'll be all right.
well,
Y'all,
man,
my.
that's
I
terrible.
don't know.
Y'all, Zion Simmons, you know, our homie Zion.
Yes,
He said, did you see West defending Josh on Twitter?
I was
didn't see
just
that.
about
It was
to
like
tell
shady, though.
No.
Or was it like heartfelt?
No, I think I took it as heartfelt.
Are you serious?
I mean, for Wes sticking up for him, I think that's
I don't know. I feel like it's Wes, and there was ulterior motives. There was a backhanded.
Okay,
It was
situation.
backhanded.
Can I read it?
For sure.
Go ahead.
Read it. I want to know.
Yeah.
To everyone making fun of Josh, please back the fuck off. He has had valid reasons to think I'm going to go after him. Yes, I'm having fun with him on the show, and yes, it's low-key funniest long joke in the entire history of the challenge, but it's not an excuse to bully him. I think that's straight up real. I don't think that's shady. I mean, yeah, he's saying, yeah, it's low-key the funniest joke along to the entire history of the challenge, but it's not an excuse to bully him. Like,
That seems real.
He says that he has
I had heard it. I'm just going by Wes's antics.
Okay, yeah,
So,
he said he has a valid reason to think I'm going to go after him. So he's sticking up for the fact that we've been wanting to hear this whole time. Everyone's like, he don't have a valid reason. He acting stupid. He's looking
for sure. For sure.
And Wes has his back.
Remember what we said when Josh was here too? We said, you know, it's the way that it looks to us as consumers and as viewers makes it look like you're the one that cares and Wes doesn't care. You know what I mean? And which could be real because that's just how Wes is or whatnot. And Josh wears his heart on his sleeve, or maybe that's the edit that we're looking at and it's just making us look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shout out to Wes for defending that situation. See, Wes does have a heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see?
He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
Outside of the challenge.
Right.
He's seen for what it is.
For sure. Well, I do have a minute with Uncle Lim.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Before I do this, I want to give a shout out to our previous guest, Casey, for killing it in Elimination tonight.
Yes.
She murdered that. Smash Central. I mean, demolished.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really dope. This is definitely on the serious side. It doesn't have anything to do with the show. But I want to say this because it's important. It's important.
Let's go, Lem. We with you. Let's go.
Yeah, many of you have seen the videotape with George Floyd, the gentleman that the police officer had his knee on his neck for over 5 minutes, and he ended up passing away and caused a riot down there in Minneapolis. And a lot of people were just it was just sad. It was just really sad because this is not the first time or second time or 13th time or 29th time we've seen this. So I just wrote something really quick because I just needed to get some stuff off my chest. I am tired. I am tired of seeing Black bodies treated as an afterthought, as less than, as prey, hunted for sport. We used to be just good at sports, which is why they feel they can treat us as wild game. When hunters kill, they put the heads up on the wall as trophies. Maybe that's why that cop in Minneapolis put his knee on George Floyd's neck, to showcase just his face for the camera for 5 minutes, for 300 seconds. Maybe he thought he was a Spartan. Maybe he thought it was war, or maybe he just didn't care, like the rest, like the hunters that have the guns who shoot the people who do not, or suffocate the people who do not, because it's easy to be called a winner when the person they beat cannot fight back. Even when they don't resist, it's still our fault because we have a record, because we have a rap sheet. We can't help that we are music. We can't help that our skin is loud. It doesn't make us a threat. It doesn't make us dangerous. So please don't kill us for being ourselves, for existing, for being Black and human.
Shout out, Lem. That was awesome, man.
So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to end it on a sad note, but I just had to see that on the platform.
You need to.
But yeah, shout out to all the people that are loved. Shout out to people that love. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all my crew. Yeah, we're gonna get through this as we always do. Yeah, That's been our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for our guests for joining us, our super fans. Yeah, that was so dope. I so appreciate these fan nights.
Yes.
We have the dopest fans.
And I love they give so many fun
So
opinions that like we don't even think about sometimes.
Exactly. So good. It's like the chat like comes alive.
Yes,
That's exactly what it
exactly.
is.
The chat IRL, yeah, I love it.
For sure. I've been your host, Lim Gonzalez, aka Uncle Lim, and you can find me everywhere at Uncle Lim. Sensei, where you at?
You guys know where to follow me at Sensei Don't Play.
Yes, Melody, where you at?
You guys can check me out everywhere at Melody_Rose.
Nino.
Hey, y'all, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Lanero on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah. Until next week, we will see you.
Deuces.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.